Hey there, it's Kefra Koala, and this is the first of a series I'm hoping on doing called Fanart and Commentary. Today's piece is a fan art of the Fairly Odd Parents. Now, what is the Fairly Odd Parents? It's like this show that was on Nickelodeon. It was originally by Butch Hartman, who awesomely is also on YouTube. I'll link to his channel in the description. And the show starts off with Timmy Turner, who's a kid that is so miserable he gets fairies to make his life just a little better, a little bearable. He doesn't just get one, he gets two, Cosmo and Wanda. And it helps him basically deal with his idiotic and neglectful parents, as well as his evil babysitter. There's a lot of good things about the show. Like growing up, I really liked Fairly Odd Parents. It was very loose with the continuity, but some was still there. Like many times, something would happen in an episode like 5 episodes ago, and it wouldn't be mentioned until like the 5th episode, and they'll like just do a small callback. And I found that really awesome. Like even the shape of the house, like it alternates all the time, so it really lends to like this flexibility in the show. And the cast in the show was also very diverse. I mean, by back then standards, not today's standards, because that's a whole different ballpark. But each background character was very important and contrast or complemented Timmy in some way, even if it's just like one of his traits. One of the most notable characters is Crocker, who is Timmy's teacher, and he's like a cautionary tale to Timmy as what can happen to him when he becomes an adult. And Crocker grew up basically having the exact same fairies as Wanda. Not even basically, he literally had the same 2 fairies, Cosmo and Wanda, and he lost them because of breaking the rules. Crocker also knows Timmy's secret, but he isn't really a respectable person in the show, so no one believes him, and so he spends many episodes trying to get proof of Timmy's fairies or straight up catch these fairies so he can credit himself. And he does come close like a ton of times. You also have Vicky, who's Timmy's evil redheaded babysitter. The show makes a point of mentioning that she's redheaded, like it's a whole thing. And she makes the lives of Timmy and other kids just miserable, including her own little sister, who I'll mention later. And she's one of the main reasons we can assume why Timmy gets fairies, because she's just that bad. Then you also have Chester and AJ, who are Timmy's best pals. I'm grouping these two and not separately because as a pair they do go mesh well better with Timmy. You have AJ, who never really seems bothered by most things, and he doesn't really reach out to Timmy as much as Chester does. Like Chester, he's a real homeboy. He'll help Timmy with any kind of foolishness, and he's there, throw down for Timmy. But AJ really only ever pursues Timmy's friendship in this one episode where AJ and Chester are having a fight. And so it makes it really seem like the only reason he would want Timmy to be really close as a friend to him is if it could make Chester jealous. But by himself, I really like AJ because Butch had this thing back then where most black characters were like really cool, but Butch was like, I'm gonna make all the black characters super smart. Like he did the same thing in like his show Danny Phantom, which I'll probably mention some other time. But really like that or not, because like AJ is like super smart, and he's also like content with his place in the social hierarchy in the school. Like you never really see him trying to climb out of his spot. Like he'll help Timmy when Timmy is trying to climb out of his spot, but for the most part AJ is like, he's chill with hand he's been dealt. Then you have Chester. Now Chester, like I've said, Chester's a homeboy, and he's like one of the most underrated characters in the show. Like I personally have never been an optimist, but when you watch Chester in the show, like he just rolls with all the punches. Anything bad happens to him, he's gonna find some good way to look at it. And the show depicts Chester's family situation as horrid and poor, like especially compared to Timmy, who's like middle class. And even aside from money, like Chester's dad is this guy who was so disgraced that the people in town basically forced this guy to wear a bag over his head. Okay, so Chester and AJ themselves are, like I said, a pretty good pair. But it doesn't seem to be just that. It's like not just money-wise and situation-wise, but also when it comes to intelligent-wise, I feel like Chester and AJ really help you scale just like how smart Timmy is. Because you have Chester, who's not all that book smart, but he's very resourceful. And then you have AJ, who is like exactly what it means to be smart. And we see Timmy not having book smarts, so you think he falls more in line with Chester, but time and time again you see that Timmy is not as resourceful as Chester. And it's not even a question as if he's book smart, intelligent like AJ. It's not even, get out of your head now. These two characters also show you just how bad Timmy's parents are. Like, you don't see AJ's parents that much, but when you do see them, you see them as like they're overprotective, and it might come off as a little controlling, whereas they don't, they only have like one channel on their TV, I think, the National Geographic channel for AJ to watch. But if you look at it a different kind of way, you can see it as a sign of love. And Chester's dad seems to give him like free reign, just like Timmy's parents does. But you also see that when push comes to shove, Chester's dad he's going above and beyond for his son. He's gonna be there for him when they're doing the Squirrely Scouts and what's not. So you really see the difference in the love these parents give them. Another really important character is, well, he's not really important to the show. He doesn't show up that often. But you have Remy Buxaplenty, who is like carbon copy Timmy with like slightly changed circumstances. So you have like Timmy, whose parents avoid him at any cost and leave him at home alone and neglect him. And you realize, basically by what I say with Chester, that it's not just his finances that are making him miserable, even though, like I said, Timmy's basically middle class. I don't know why his parents complain about money. But basically you have Rex Buxaplenty, who has no money problems, but he also has a fairy to make him feel better, because just like Timmy, his parents are very neglectful. So he's this blonde-haired rich kid. Then you have this episode where you see how making wishes to best improve Timmy's life, and the fact that he has two fairies that love him is really what pisses off Remy. Like, Timmy having fairies, fine. Timmy existing, fine. But the fact that like Timmy can get happiness out of this is the main problem, because Remy has a fairy that can wish him up what he wants, but Remy already had money, which is like kind of like fairies, and the only thing Remy really wants is love. But his parents can't care less that if he existed or not. Like, Remy is really messy, but you can definitely see where that kid was coming from. But I can really go off on how many great characters are in the show, but I don't want to do that, because that's like, that'll send me off on a whole tangent. So then you have other things, some things that either confused me or I didn't feel like was as good in the Fairly Odd Parents. And I stand the kid, don't get me wrong, stand the show, I love the show. It's one of my top shows. But I do have some hang-ups. Like, first of all, Timmy's parents. There's like a movie where Timmy's about to lose his parents, and like he's about to lose his Fairly Odd Parents, and like the whole, going through the movie, Timmy's parents are like trying to prove to him, hey, we love you, because after time and time again of his parents basically either straight up ignoring him or treating him bad, Timmy decides he's going to jump into the TV, and that's going to be him. But they kind of just say that they love him, and we're supposed to, believe them. Like, I believe actions speak louder than words, but that's just me. So you have this other episode where Timmy's parents spend so little time with him that when they see him have all like this nice stuff, they think he's a thief. And by the end of the episode, Tim just stops and said, oh, I just bought this stuff on the internet. They don't even question it. Never mind that his dad is usually reluctant to give him money. So where would he get all the money to buy these things off the internet? Once you say you get these things off the internet, they're like, cool. Moving on. And I get that they have to be neglectful for the plot, right? But Timmy's dad is a whole problem, because time and time again, Timmy's dad also, tells Timmy straight up to his face, listen, you ruined my life. Like, I would be rich if it wasn't for you. I had to give up on all my hopes and dreams the day you were born. Stuff like that. And then Timmy's dad also has like this weird vengeance with the next door neighbor Dinkelberg, who used to date Timmy's mom and dumped Timmy's mom when he became rich, which is like, maybe he can be upset about that, but Timmy's mom doesn't seem to care, so Timmy's dad really should be over it by now. I have much less of a gripe with the mom, but I always was curious because apparently she had like a ton of jobs before Timmy was born, but then she just ups and decides to be a stay-at-home mom. And yeah, she's a stay-at-home mom, but she's never home. Like, Timmy gets into all these wild stuff, and she's never home. Like, you stay-at-home mom, you're never home. So it's like, yo, he was really successful as heck before you had this kid. Like, her credentials have to be like really good, because she could just bounce up one day and decide she wanted to be a weatherman, and she had the job just like that, snap of the fingers. And did I mention she was a model too? Like, Timmy's dad really lucked out. He better hold that down. In this video, I won't be talking about anything fairy dog and beyond, because that's kind of where I stopped watching, because you have some like continuity issues, and also I didn't feel like the dog was funny. I actually have to go and watch some of the show with, I think her name is Chloe, the god sister, because I feel like she would be kind of a nice premise to add on. The dog, I didn't really understand, but they added it. Love poof. So I'm not one of those purists who like Fairly Odd Parents was good as it is, didn't need nothing else. So love poof, love foop. Just the dog wasn't kicking it for me. Then, like I said, I said I would mention Vicky's sister, so I'll mention Vicky's sister. Just like how you have Remy Boxerpen, who is like, he's such a good character because he compliments Timmy. You have Tootie, who is Vicky's younger sister, who just begs a lot of questions for you, because Timmy gets his parents, his Fairly Odd parents, because his actual parents are neglectful, and because he has Vicky. Like, that was so bad they had to give him two Fairly Odd parents. But Vicky's the younger sister. Her parents don't stand up for her. They basically don't pay no attention to her because they're intimidated by Vicky. And she also has to deal with Vicky much more than Timmy, but she doesn't have Fairly Odd parents. And we also don't see her having much friends at all. Like, at least Timmy has AJ and Chester, because Tootie's a girl and she's not like girly. She basically doesn't really have any friends except for like when you see like whatever the Girl Scouts are called in like a later season. So that's like a weird thing. Why doesn't Tootie have Fairly Odd parents? And another thing that I was thinking about when I was like drawing this, and I was like reminiscing, because the way my memory works is that if I draw something that I recognize, I start thinking about things really in depth. I wish it works for like schoolwork. I haven't been gotten through school thing, but then I was remembering that the fact that fairies explode if they don't grant wishes. So then I had a thought, like, are fairies really good or are fairies really bad? Because if you look at it, fairies are like really irresponsible. Like, they're this super powered, almost immortal deities, and they just decide, hey, we're gonna grant wishes for kids. And at first it seems like that's nice. They're being really good. They're granting wishes for kids out of the goodness of the heart so that their lives can be better. But the more we learn about fairies, the more we learn about these kids, the more ambiguous like fairies actually seem. Because we learned that many times in the past, natural disasters or really bad things have happened as a result of granting wishes for these kids. But fairies still recklessly grant wishes. Like, they have the rules now. But as we see with Timmy, that doesn't really stop kids from causing all kinds of problems. And then if you look at the repercussions to losing your fairies, like how we see with Timmy or with Crocker, they don't only take your memories of having fairies, they also take the stuff you gained from having fairies. And most of these miserable kids, only thing they have are things they get from somehow having fairies. Like, they straight up ruined Crocker's life, changed his look and everything when they took his fairies. So like, whew, are they good? But that's just something for you guys to think about. Hit me up if you want to have a deeper discussion with it, because I love to go off. But before this is done, I need to talk about the piece. Really short because, you know. Okay, the piece is really simple. I did Timmy, Wanda, Cosmo, and Poof, because like I said, that's basically where I am in it, where I went up to in the timeline. And you guys didn't see me sketch it because I'm working from a pre-made sketch that I made on my Android tablet. It's a really old one. It's the Samsung Tab A, so it doesn't really have that much processing power, so I don't want to install a new app on it to record the screen. But I'll see if I can just start sketching in an app that already has a screen recorder, because I think Autodesk updated the app, but they have a screen recorder in it. So I'm gonna, in the future, try to record the screen from there, and then just, you know, the screen will just change sizes in the middle of the video when I actually port things over the side. And then I also ran into the problem where, because I put it over the sketch, I was supposed to change it to a sci file, and I forgot. So I just had like this one layer when I closed it. I closed it, and then when I tried to open it back up to work on it again after I finished something else, it was like all you have is like this one completed image that you did so